What's happening, everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com, coming back to you with another video. A little bit under the weather, but I wanted to talk to you guys about something that was fresh on my mind because I was talking to my team about this last night, and that's repricing inventory. When you're selling on Amazon, it's very, very, very crucial that you reprice your inventory and that you have a strategy for repricing your inventory. So anywhere from 80 to 90% of sales, based on recent studies and articles I've read, have shared that the sale is going to the buy box winner. So on Amazon, there's a buy box. You know, there might be 15 or 20 people on the listing. Who gets the sale when someone hits buy it now? It's whoever gets the buy box. Typically, the people who get the buy box are the folks who are the lowest price or within, 3 to 5% of the, the lowest price, typically FBA. So a lot of times you can win the buy box even 10, 20, 30, 40% higher if there's only FBM sellers. It depends on where you live. The buy box is different based on parts of the country. Like I might see the buy box for one seller and then you might see it for a different seller because it's all based on logistics, and Amazon, controls all that data. They want to get you the inventory quick. So in order to make more sales, you want to win the buy box more. So how do you win the buy box more? Well, we talked about a couple things, but the big thing is making sure you're priced competitively, making sure that you're either A, the lowest offer, which isn't necessary. Matter of fact, you don't always want to be the lowest offer, and I'll talk about different things, or at least B, being competitively priced within 3, 4, 5%. And it depends, right? It depends on that specific item that you have for sale. It depends on that ASIN. I mean, if you're 8th or 9th or 10th in line and the item's only selling 10 or 15 times a month, you're probably not going to get the sale. So a lot of times you want to be 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th in line, depending on the sales velocity, so on and so forth. So we'll go a lot deeper into this in another video, but I want to talk about my repricing strategy, okay? So for me personally, you have to understand I do online arbitrage. I do mostly eBay to Amazon flip. So I buy my items on eBay, they get shipped to my house. We prep them, we list them, we ship them back out to FBA. Typically my margins are around 30%. Sometimes I will go as low as 20%. I have plenty of items that, for anyone in my eBay to Amazon masterclass or in our Facebook group, you see a lot of the sales and different things I'm posting and my numbers and the profits I make on my shipments and stuff. A lot of times it's way higher than 30%, but I'll say on average, it's probably between 30 to 50% margin. I will go as low as 20%. So for this example, I'm just gonna say I want at least a 30% margin on my flips. So, for example, if I buy an item for $100, I want to make at least $30 on it. So that's a 30% margin, ROI, whatever you want to call it. The first month that I have an item for sale with my particular model, because again, I'm paying up on eBay. I'm not thrifting. I'm not finding items at garage sales for $1 or $2. I'm paying a pretty penny for these items, right? I want them gone within 30 days or less, okay? So my strategy has changed over time. Right now, coming into 2024, I want my items to sell in 30 days or less. So I'm gonna price my items competitively to hit at least my 30% margin. Now, will I take a 40%, 50%, 60, 80% if the market is there? Absolutely. If my team and I, we find something amazing, like I'm not gonna price it at a 30% margin and only make $30 profit. If I'm looking at Keep and I see the market, I can make $60 and that's where the market is. But I'm just saying, the first month I wanna make at least a 30% margin. Now I do have some exceptions. There's some items I flip where sometimes I spend $200 and I'm willing to make a 20% margin because I can flip them in a week and they're on my replens list. But that first month, 30% margin. I'm using BQOOL. I'm using the AI sales booster setting, right? So that's kind of like a setting in my repricer that is trying to move inventory. It's kind of like the middle ground, maybe a little bit more aggressive to get a sale. So like if I have my minimum price at 100 and my maximum price at 120, let's just say it might price it at 108, 110, 111, like somewhere in the middle. There's also another setting in BQOOL called Equalizer. A lot of times I just use AI Sales Booster or Equalizer. I'm just trying to stay within the middle ground of my min and max. I don't want my repricer pushing it all the way down to the bottom, and I don't want it pushing it all the way up to the top to maximize profit. I want to move my inventory, and you want to set your min price and your maximum price to have a little bit of wiggle room, because if the lowest price, and you go to list an item, and you see that the lowest price is $100, you don't want to put your minimum price at 100 and then your max at 110, because yeah, you have a little wiggle room going up, but you have no wiggle room going down if someone undercuts you by a penny. So I usually like to be, anywhere from give myself a couple percentage points to maybe even as low as 10% under where I would be willing to go, but I want to stay around that 30% mark, okay? So I might put my minimum price at maybe 95 or 94 or 97, depends on the item, depends if I sell it all the time, the rank, the market, the seasonality. And then I'll usually put my maximum price maybe $5 higher, $10 higher, maybe 5 to 10% higher. It depends, maybe even 20% higher, depending on if it's like a low ticket item. But my average ASP over the last 30 days is $86. So I'm dealing with higher ticket items. First month AI sales booster, looking for 30% margin. Days 30 to 60, I'm gonna start getting a bit more aggressive. So one thing I've been doing is I've actually been changing my ROI down to anywhere from 5 to 15% lower. So after a month, I'm okay to just take 10%, 15%, 20% margin because I wanna move it. If I didn't sell it within 30 days or less, I made a mistake. Either I overpaid, maybe I didn't price it correctly on the front end, maybe the market conditions changed, so on and so forth. But when you're spending a lot of money, if you have your money in a product and it's just sitting there for 45, 60, 90 days, especially when you start getting into higher ticket eBay flips like I'm getting into, it used to be a little different. For anyone watching my videos a year ago, it was different. I wasn't paying as much. My margins were a lot higher dealing with DVDs and whatnot. But now, days 30 to 60, I want to move it. So typically I'll keep AI sales booster setting. I might move my minimum price down to a 25%, 20, even as aggressive as a 15% margin. There could be some times where I lower it even more if the market's really flopped. And sometimes, I just admit we made a mistake or the market conditions changed. Now, days 60 to 90, okay? So it didn't sell after 2 months. We really made a mistake or the market changed. I'm now changing my repricer from AI sales booster to AI sales maximizer. So now it's gonna be a lot more aggressive towards my minimum price. So if my minimum price is 100 and my max is 120, it's probably gonna price it at 100, 102, 103. It's gonna be trying to maximize my sales, AI sales maximizer. Now AI sales booster is trying to boost the sales, so it's a little more aggressive, but it's less aggressive than the maximizer. I'm really trying to get rid of the product. I'll break even, I'll make 5%, I'll make 10%. I'm even open to taking a little bit of a loss if the market conditions have changed. Now, again, you don't always have to be the lowest price to sell an item because, again, if you got some dum-dum who's selling it for 100, but the market's really at 120 all day long, you see it in the Keep a Price history. Once they sell out, the market's gonna jump back up to 120. So I'm looking at all this. My team, a couple VAs who help with repricing. I also do a little bit of repricing, but not much anymore. We're looking to exclude the outliers. We're really, we're looking to see where the market is. We're looking at the sales rank. We're looking at the monthly sales. We're looking at the buy box statistics. Is Amazon on the listing? Is there a seasonality effect where it's less popular or more popular? So we're AI sales maximizer. We're willing to even take a loss, break even, or make a little bit of money. Why? Why would somebody do that? Why would a reseller do that? Because it's more valuable for me to get my money back and just say, hey, I missed out on, some profit. We spent time sourcing it. We spent time listing it. We spent time shipping it. There's probably a little bit of a loss or a lack of, taking advantage of an opportunity, but it is what it is. I want my money back because I want to put it into a better opportunity. You got to get your ego aside. You got to push your emotions aside. And this is something I've struggled with and say, you know what? It didn't pan out the way I wanted to. Let's go in and buy another item on eBay that'll flip better. Now, after 90 days, I'm pushing hard, okay? I'm AI sales maximizer. I'm getting extremely aggressive with the repricing. I might even take a 10%, 20%, 30% loss. I'm doing essentially whatever it takes to move my inventory, okay? This is my new strategy now. So after that, I'm just gonna keep lowering the price until I can get rid of it, okay? Now, people are gonna complain,
you're tanking the price, da 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 da.
You gotta look out for yourself. I'm not gonna be tanking the price the first 30 days, but if things don't pan out as a business owner, I gotta get my money back in your pocket. You gotta get your money back in your pocket because guess what? You could have that money in the stock market if you wanted to. You could have that money in real estate. You could have that money, in this example, in another product that's flipping and turning, right? We're trying to use the compound effect to take advantage of this opportunity. We're trying to take 10 bucks and flip it to 15, flip it to 30, flip it to 50. But if that 10 bucks is sitting in a product, just sitting, taking up storage fees, it's just sitting there doing nothing. You're literally this is why people struggle on Amazon. This is why I've struggled with cash flow in the past. I still do from time to time. You know, Amazon's not as easy as people make it out to be. But I'll tell you what makes it easier is letting go of your losses, letting go of products that don't pan out, and just doubling and tripling down on your replens on the products that are working out. So after 3 months to 6 months, I'm just pushing it. I'm trying to get rid of it, and I'm taking notes with my team. We're taking notes of what happened, what was the mistake. Did we, ignore the fact that Amazon's jumping on and off the listings and they tank the price? Did we ignore the fact that last year the number of sellers have gone up? Did we ignore the fact that we bought this item at 60, knowing that the market was really only around 40 bucks, but it jumped up for a short period of time and we thought we can take advantage of it and we missed the boat and then it dropped back down to its normal pricing? So you want to take notes. You want to ask yourself, what's the mistake I made? What could I do better? How could I improve? But really 3 to 6 months, I'm moving it. At that point, really at month 4 or 5 or 6, I might even consider disposing inventory, destroying it, having it shipped back to my house and selling on eBay, which I don't really do anymore. But for you guys, that might be something you might want to do, or ship it back to and maybe do it FBM, or maybe consider longer tail items doing it FBM from the beginning. But yeah, at that 6 month mark, you're going to start really hitting those long-term storage fees. So I'm getting rid of these things beforehand. So that's my strategy. If you have any questions, let me know. I use BQOOL. If you want to check out BQOOL, I'll put a 30-day extended trial down below. Thanks to the guys over at BQOOL. Appreciate you guys. So go through that link if you want to support my channel. If you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, or you want clarification on anything, drop a comment down below. But yeah, appreciate you guys. Smash that like button. And I want to say I appreciate you all. Much love. Bye.